Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the concept of karma according to Buddha's teachings. Now, when you hear the word karma, the first question that comes to your mind is, what is karma? What is the meaning of this word? Well, if you take a look at the definition of karma, it gives the meaning of action, right? But in Buddhism, it is more than action. The Buddha said it is intentional action is the karma. In Nibbedika Sutta, Buddha explains this as Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami chetayitva kammang karoti kayena vachaya manasa. Monks, I say that intention is the action, or intention is the karma. And intentionally or willingly, one performs actions or karma either physically, mentally, or verbally. That means that intention, chetana, or the intention, plays a greater role behind our karma. Now, according to the intentions, the karma can be divided into two types. Buddha said there are kusala karma and akusala karma, wholesome actions and unwholesome actions, right? Now, what is wholesome action? They are the actions, they are the things that we do with wholesome intentions, right? Like we do certain things with wholesome intentions like love and kindness, compassion, patience, serenity, right? When we do certain things from our body, speech, and our mind with wholesome actions, wholesome intentions, we generate karmas that are wholesome. And also there's the other side of the karma, that is unwholesome actions. Okay? Now, akusala karma or unwholesome actions is a broader topic because so many people think that akusala karma is something that is bad when it comes to unwholesome actions, right? Akusala karma is not only bad, but also there's another hidden meaning behind this. And that is, there are certain things, there are certain actions that we perform during our day-to-day life, right? They're the things that we do in day-to-day life, like talking and writing and like sleeping and traveling. We need actions and we need intentions to do this. Intentionally, we do all the actions, but they're not certainly unwholesome. So the meaning of akusala karma means the actions that do not fall under the wholesome actions or kusala karma. Of course, there is the unwholesome actions or the bad karma or the evil karmas that we do, and also there is other neutral karmas that we perform during our day-to-day life. So they are called the unwholesome actions, right? So based on the intention, the karma can be divided into two different parts, and they are wholesome actions and unwholesome actions, kusala karma and akusala karma. Okay, and the word karma does not come alone. It comes with this word vipaka or phala, right? Vipaka, the word vipaka gives the meaning of result or outcome, and the word phala gives the meaning of the fruit. Okay, now the word phala is a great word to understand about the law of karma. Let's understand about it in this way. Let's say I planted a mango seed on the ground. In few years' time, what do I get? I can have mangoes, right? And also, if I planted a chili seed, in few months' time, what can I get? I can get chili, right? So when we plant something, a seed, it has the potential to give the result in the future, right? If I planted a mango seed, that mango seed has the potential, it has the ability to generate mango fruits in the future. Okay, same like that. If I did a certain karma in this moment, right? If with an intention, if I perform an action in this moment, it has the potential to create a series of experiences in the future, whether it is good or bad, right? So remember, the vipaka is the effect that we are going to get in the future, right? Now, this whole idea behind this law of karma is the law of cause and effect. When we make the conditions for something, then we are going to get the results out of it in the future. Now, the nature of the results highly dependent on the nature of the karma that we perform today. Let's understand about this in this way. Now, I planted the mango seed, right? That mango seed had the power to generate mangoes in the future, right? But if I wish this mango seed to give chilies in the future, no matter how hard I wish, I will never get chili out of it. I get mangoes because it has the nature of generating mangoes. Same like that, right? If I did an action with an intention, it has the power to generate the experiences or the vipakas in the future. So if the nature of this karma that I am performing today has the intention of wholesome, or if I did with a pure mind, a pure intention, it can generate desirable experiences in the future, desirable results in the future, because that is the nature of this seed of karma. In the same way, if I did something unwholesome with an unwholesome intention, I will get unwholesome or undesirable experiences in the future, because it has the nature of generating undesirable experiences in the future. So this is the whole idea behind the law of karma. Now, why do we need to understand about the law of karma and how karma works? Now, if you had a good understanding about the law of karma and how karma works, it is very easy to be compassionate on others, and it is very easy to be compassionate on yourself. Right? There are certain things and certain experiences that happens due to our past karmas, right? Now, according to Buddhism, we believe that we are coming from a long journey of rebirth that is called samsara. Now, in this long samsara, we have performed both good and bad karmas. So in this life, we are going to get some sort of experiences from our past karmas, okay? So if you take a look at that, when the tough times comes, when the problems comes to your mind, sometimes people blame to themselves. People hate themselves and think like, I'm a bad person, right? I'm a bad person. I'm a negative person. No, right? Just because you performed a bad karma doesn't say that you're a bad person, okay? Because each and everyone, we are living in this society, in this world, perform good and bad karma, okay? So we don't want to hate ourselves. We can be compassionate on ourselves, right? Everyone is subjected to this law of karma. And also, if you have a good understanding about the law of karma, it is very easy to be mindful and be in this present moment. Why? Because sometimes we worry about the things that has happened in the past, right? We worry about the things that we have done in the past, and we think like, oh, I did this thing and my whole life is ruined, right? Of course, you cannot change the past, right? That is the truth. You cannot change the past. And also, you cannot stop the outcomes of the things that you have done in the past, or the results or the vipakas that you have done in the past. Okay? You cannot change it. What is within your control and what you can change is this present moment. And if you become mindful about this present moment, then you can create good karma, not the bad ones. So I hope you got a little understanding about the karma and how it works. So until next video, stay happy and stay safe. Namo Buddhaya. What is the true nature of life? It is the change. One thing that always prevails throughout our entire life, that is change. everything is subjected to change. You all need to understand it. Everything is changing. And everything has this intrinsic and inherent nature of changing. You have to understand. To understand, you have to become a seeker, not a follower. See, we are in a follower culture, isn't it? Yes, we like to follow people, but we don't like to seek, find, question, ask why, how. We don't ask it. We always like to nod our head. We don't like to question. The first step of wisdom is to ask why, how it is happening. The Buddha says that you should practice Buddhism by asking questions. Asking questions to understand and realize. Why do you ask questions? Because you realize that you don't know. That is the first step of wisdom. The first step of wisdom is to realize that I don't know. I have to learn more. I have to seek. I need to ask. To ask for anything is the most difficult thing. Why? We have to put down our ego. Isn't it? Yes. To ask for help, should we put down our ego? Yes. To ask for a question and say that I'm not clear with this, can you clarify it? You need to put down your ego. That is the nature of a seeker. So I will all invite you this day. It's a special day for me and for all of you. Ask questions and be a seeker. Okay? Be a seeker. Find something and ask why. What's happening? How it is happening? I need to know. I need to learn. Because you know that, and you understand that I don't know. That's the beginning of wisdom. That is why wisdom begins from the humblest places. Being humble and understanding that I don't know. I have to learn. I have to seek. I need to get the help. That is where you find the truth. When life hits you hard and when you are in that dark place, sometimes we make excuses saying that this is my destiny, this is my fate, and this is my bad luck, and this is my karma. Well, what if I told you not everything that happens in your life is your bad luck? It is not always according to your destiny or fate. There are certain things that we can do to change our destiny and fate. Okay, so let's discuss about it in this video. Now, some of you have been asked in the comment section that is everything that happens in life is predetermined or due to karma? Okay, so I'm going to give you the answer for this question. Before giving the answer to this question, let's look at how Buddha taught about this perspective. The Buddha says, those who hold on to the idea of everything that happens, every experience that happens in our life is predetermined, whether it is good, bad, or neutral, that every feeling, every experience in life is predetermined or is due to bad karma or karma that is in the past. That perspective, that weave leads to inactivity, or that weave make that person a lazy person. So the Buddha says, just because this is your bad luck or destiny or karma, you should give up trying. The Buddha never says like that. The Buddha says, always try something to make your life a better one. Okay? The Buddha says there are certain things that can be done to change our destiny. Okay? Now, so many of you believe that destiny cannot be changed. Well, it's wrong. Destiny can be changed according to the choices that we make right here, right now. So that is why it is very important to remember that not everything that is happening in our life, whether it is good or bad or neutral, is always due to bad karma. Okay? There are certain phenomena and there are certain things and processes that happens in our life out of this concept of destiny. Okay? Let's say you're trying to go to work and you're getting ready to go to work, and all of a sudden there will be a huge rain. Okay, now that rain is due to bad karma? No, that is a phenomena, and that is a process that happens in this environment. Well, rather than complaining about this bad karma, rather than complaining about our destiny, why can't we choose to do something about it? Why can't we try to change the situation? If we can change the situation, then definitely we can do it. That is why there's a great saying that says, if you have a problem in your life, okay, if you can do something about that problem to change that problem or make it a better one, okay, come out of that problem, then you should not worry about it, because certainly you can do something about it. Okay? And there are certain problems that appears in your mind and in your life that you cannot do anything about it. Well, if you cannot do anything about it, we should not worry about it. Okay? So that is why always remember, karma is a bigger part in our life. It plays a bigger role in our life, but we can change certain things. Okay, we can change our destiny by choosing to make correct choices in this present moment. So that is why what I have to share in this video today. Never ever believe that your destiny cannot be changed. You can choose to do it by making correct choices. Work hard and do not ever give up in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. From today's video, we are going to answer one of the most frequently asked questions in Buddhism. Can we change our karma? Or can we change our past karma? Can we do anything about it? Now, to understand about this, first we need to understand what karma is. Now, in almost all the Indian religions, there are a lot of teachings about karma. Karma is a bigger teaching in almost all the Indian religions. In Hinduism, in Jainism, in Buddhism, there are a lot of teachings about karma. But the Buddhist approach of karma, or the Buddhist way of definition of karma, is slightly different than the other Indian religions, right? So this is how Buddha defined the karma. The Buddha says, Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami. Monks, I say, intention is the karma. So when it comes to these statements from the Buddha means, what Buddha means is that karma, the action, is more of a mind-related thing. That is why the Buddha says intention is karma. So intentions are generated in our mind. So what Buddha saw is that it is not just the action, it is the intention behind the action what defines the karma. So this is the Buddhist definition of karma. Now we'll come to the question. What is it? Can we change the karma? Right? Now, first of all, we need to correct the question and then answer it. Why? Because karma, what people mean by asking, can we change karma, is that, can I change what I have done in the past, and can I change the consequences of those karma? Okay. So First, we need to understand that karma or this intention is generated right now, right here, right? The karma is not something that is past. Karma is something that you do right now, this present moment, right? So this present moment, the karma can be changed. Why? Because it is always your choice. The choice is a karma. It is your choice is totally under your control. Some people think that, okay, our choices and our experiences are not totally under our control. The choices that we make are predetermined, or due to the past karma, we make choices right now. But Buddha did not agree to this idea. What Buddha says is, yes, your life is affected by the past karma, but it is not the only thing that your life is affected, but you can change your karma by making good choices, by taking the right action. That is why Buddha praised a lot about the taking right action. So understand that karma happens right now, and that means the karma is totally under your control. But what people ask is that, can I change the karma? No. First, you need to correct the question, can we change the consequences of our karma? Which means vipaka. Now, with the package of karma, there comes another word which is not much famous, and that is vipaka. Vipaka means the consequences of karma. So basically, what karma is, the cause and effect phenomena. That means we make causes for something and there will be an effect because of that cause. We do some actions and then we get consequences of those actions. So this is the basic understanding of karma. So can we change vipaka? It is not totally under our control. We don't know what we have done in the past. So the only thing that we can do is just to go through those experiences. Now, it is also important to remember that our life is not totally dependent on karma. Karma is only one thing that our life is affected. Okay? So let's say you're going through a consequence of your past karma. So can you do anything about that? You can't do it, because only thing that you can do is you have to face that experience. But you can change how you react to that experience, right? Whether it is good or bad, you can take right action, right choice, right now, right here, to face that in a good way. So if we take the right action and right choice right here, then we can stop the karma repeating again and again. Right? Let's say you're going through a bad experience due to a past karma, and if you react the same way, right? If you fall down, if you become angry, if you spread hate because of that pain and suffering, then you create some more suffering karma to go through some bad experiences in the future. But if you take right action and if you become wise and patient and mindful, then you can stop the karma from repeating. So in that way, you take control of your choices. So understand, basically, there is very few space for us to take control of what we have done in the past and the consequences of them, but we totally have the control that we make the choice right now, right here. So keep this beautiful advice from the Buddha in your heart and be happy. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to the most famous Buddhist text in this world. Now, if you are new to Buddhism and if you'd like to learn more about Buddhism, this is one of the best books that you can read. So, the book's name is Dharmapada. Now, what is Dharmapada? Dharmapada is a set of verses that was originally preached by the Buddha himself, and this Dhammapada contains 423 verses in it, and these 423 verses are divided into 26 chapters. So why Dhammapada is important? You know, for Hindus, we have Gita, and in Christianity, we have Bible, and in Islam, we have Quran. Same like that, to the Buddhist world, we have Dhammapada. Now, Dhammapada is not the only text that we have to learn Buddhism. There are many texts, but this is called as the Handbook of Buddhists. Why it is called as Handbook of Buddhists? If you went through 2-3 random pages and if you read on 2-3 verses, you can learn many life advices. You can learn many Dhamma facts about life. So that is why it is called the Handbook of Buddhists. So that is why it is widely used, and this is the most famous Buddhist text in this world. So as an example, if you turn to a random page and if you read a verse, you can find something very valuable. Let's go for that. So in 236th verse, the Buddha says, "Make an island for yourself. Strive hard and become wise. Get rid of impurities and cleanse of stain. You shall enter the celestial abode of the noble ones." It goes like that. So if you turn to another random page and if you read a verse, it goes like this. "The good shine even more afar, like the Himalayan mountain. But the wicked are unseen, like the arrows shot in the night." So if you turn to random pages and if you read, you can gain many life advices and many valuable Dhamma facts. So that is why we have to use this Dhammapada. If you are interested in using this Dhammapada, I will link down some links below that you can find Dhammapada and read it online also. And also there are some links that you can download the PDF file links down below. So this is the importance of Dhammapada, and that is why it is known as the most famous Buddhist books in this world. So that is the end of this little introduction video. So I hope you found something very valuable to your life. So practice Dhamma and practice good deeds. So I wish you all, may all of you be well and happy forever. Namo Buddhaya. Having to go through an experience of losing a loved one can be extremely painful for people. So today, I want to share with you one advice from the Buddha that will help you to ease up and that will help you to deal with this grief of losing a loved one. Okay, this is from Anguttara Nikaya, Thana Sutta, and in this sutta, Buddha mentions, "Sabbehi me piyehi manapehi nana bhavo vina bhavoti abhinnang paccavekkitabba." Whether you are a male person or a female or a monk or a lay person like you, whoever you are, think that one day I have to be separated from all the loving people and all the loving things around me. This is the reality. Now, this is all about admitting the reality. Normally, we don't like to admit the reality. People run away from realities. They don't like to think about that they are going to die one day. They don't like to think about that they are going to become old one day. They don't like to think about that they are going to be sick one day or get into diseases one day. So this is all about realities, right? In this life, in this very life, right, we all have to face this reality: death, sickness, old age, losing loved ones. These are the realities that we cannot stop, no? You cannot stop it, I cannot stop it, no one can stop it in this world. So one thing that Buddha tells us is admit the reality, see the reality as it is, and try to think about it. Okay, one day I have to be separated from all these people around me, right?
There are lots of people around us who are very near and dear, and we love them so much. The reality is, one day, you and I have to be separated from all these people, no? Or we have to leave them. So what Buddha says is, get ready to face this reality, right? How do you get ready to face this reality? By thinking about this every single day, right? Buddha said, abhinnam paccavekkitabban. Think it frequently, right? I have to be separated from these people around me. One day, that is the reality. When you think about this, there's another big advantage of thinking like this. What is that? When you think about this, you can have that compassion and you can show your love and kindness purely. Why? Because you know that you are not going to be around them for a long time. You know that you are not going to be with them forever. When you know that, and when you know that you have a little time to be with these people around you, then you can show your fullest love and you can show your fullest kindness in this little time. You do your best to do that, right? You do your best to show your love and kindness. So from now onwards, get ready to face this reality, right? When you get ready for that, when you face these situations in real life, you can face them with a strong mind. Most of the time, people face these situations unsuccessfully, all right? They often feel depressed, they become so much sad. Sometimes some people end up suiciding themselves, right? So when you make your mind and to face the reality, when you make your mind strong enough to face the reality, you can move on with your life and you can face that grief successfully. So think about the reality, don't run away from that, right? Then you will be able to create a happy and a peaceful mind in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, let's talk about how to control these emotions of anger. Well, anger itself is a natural human emotion. We all feel angry. But if we do not know how to control this emotion, if we do not know how to deal with anger, sometimes it can be destructive. And if we let that anger to control over our life, we will get into lots of troubles. So today, I'm going to introduce you a little practice that you can practice in your practical life to deal with this emotion. Well, first of all, I have to remember, none of these practices are easy. In fact, nothing in life that brings us the happiness, that brings the peacefulness to your life is not an easy task. It is a difficult one. Though it is difficult, we cannot abandon it because we like to be happy and we like to be peaceful in our life. So that is why Buddha said that everything that brings the happiness to your life is a difficult task. So what are the things that we can do to deal with these emotions of anger? Well, the first and the foremost thing that you can do to deal with these emotions is to acknowledge that your thoughts are in anger. If you don't know your thoughts are in anger, you cannot deal with it. So this includes the mindfulness, right? Whenever you are about to get angry, whenever you feel that you are triggered by this anger, just ask this question, what am I thinking now? In which mode my thoughts are in now, right? Whenever you ask that question and whenever you answer it, you can find, oh, I'm about to get angry now. Now my thoughts are in anger. That is the first step, to know that you are angry. Then it comes to the second step, right? So in this second step, if you look at this, if I ask a question from you, whenever you feel angry, imagine a situation that you have felt angry about something or someone, right? How your breathing pattern works. how our breathing pattern changes when we feel angry. It speeds up and we take short breaths, right? So that gives the sign to our body, that gives the message to our body that now you're ready for getting angry. You're breathing heavily, we are breathing in short periods, and we are breathing speedily. So the first thing that you can do is to slow down your breathing pattern. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. Slowing down the breathing pattern will help you to calm your body and calm your mind, right? Whenever we feel calm and when we are about to take a rest, what is the thing that we do? For an example, after a long day of work, when you come home and after having a good shower, if you fell on the couch, right? If you fell on the bed, what is the first thing that you do? You take a deep breath in and let it out. That is the thing that you do. That means you are giving the signal to your body that you're about to get calm or to have a rest. So the thing that we have to do, whenever we feel angry, whenever we feel we panicked, just give the message to your body that be calm by taking 2 to 3 deep breaths in and out, right? So breathing can help you a lot. Then as the third step, now you're a little bit peaceful and calming. Now you can wisely reflect on your thought pattern. When you reflect about your thoughts, you can find, why did I become angry with this person? What is that? Then you can find that anger does not prevail in an outer world, in that person or that thing, a specific thing. Anger prevails in my mind, right? It is something that I have created. Whenever you come to a situation that you are triggered to be angry, you come up with these two choices, either to react with negativity or to respond with positivity. That is up to you, right? And your experiences and your good and bad experiences depends on these choices that you make. So you totally have the power and you totally have the privilege to respond with positivity, right? So you have to believe in patience for that. Remember, there is nothing in this world, there is no problem in this world that has been solved with anger. That is why Buddha said, anger does not cease by anger, or hatred does not cease by hatred. Hatred is ceased by love and kindness only. So you have to believe in patience and compassion and forgiveness. That is the way that you're going to solve the problem, right? Though you react in anger, though you yell out or scream or take actions with anger, that is not going to help. That is not going to solve the problem. It will make the problem even more worse. I have seen lots of people who could not control their anger for a split second. Just because they could not control their anger for a split second, now they are regretting for their whole life. So remember, anger is not going to help you. So when you believe in patience and kindness and compassion, you will have this strength to face that situation more positively. Remember what Buddha said. The Buddha said, before you do something from your body, from your speech, or from your mind, just wisely reflect that what I'm going to do, is this worthy of doing? Is it bringing happiness to myself, or is it bringing happiness to others? Is it going to hurt others, or is it going to hurt myself? If it is hurting you and if it is hurting to other self, do not try to do it. Remember, it is okay that we feel angry sometimes in our mind, but it is not okay to let that anger to flow out from our bodily actions and our words, right? So remember, this is how we can control it. Always believe in patience and kindness. That is where you're gonna
solve the problems. So this is a little practice where we can deal with these emotions of anger. So practice these practices little by little and make your life a peaceful one. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome everyone to another video. In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you about 4 signs of a good-hearted friend. Now, it is very difficult to find a good friend in this society, right? As social beings, right, we need people around us. We need people to help us, right? We cannot live in this world alone. So that is why it is very important to have a good-hearted and a good friend to us. So Buddha said, if you have a good-hearted friend, it is a blessing to your life. Okay, so Buddha shared with us that there are 4 signs of a good-hearted friend. There are 4 signs of a good-hearted friend. So I'm going to discuss with you about these 4 signs in this video. Before starting this video, I want to share with you that a friendship is not always a one-sided thing, right? You cannot expect your friends to be nice to you or pleasant to you or helpful to you while you are not helping them, right? You cannot expect them to be nice while you are not becoming nice to them. So let's get into the first sign. The Buddha said a good-hearted friend is a good helper, right? He's willing to help you at any time in the life. Okay, and also Buddha said that he keeps eye on your life and your possessions. He don't like for you to find the misfortune, right? So he keeps eye on you when you are negligent and when you don't care about yourself and your possessions. He's always tried to protect them and protect yourself. So that is what you call a good helper. So this is the first sign of a good-hearted friend. And the second sign, the Buddha said, a good-hearted friend is a friend who is in the good time and the bad time both, right? There are many friends around us when we have money and when we have possessions with us, when we don't find our misfortunes in life, right? When we don't have any problems. But you can identify and you can recognize the true friends or real friends when you face problems in your life, right? When you face problems and when you go through tough times in your life, if there are friends around you who is willing to help you, who is willing to give you a helping hand, then he is a good friend in both good and bad times. So Buddha said, this is the sign of a good friend. He is a friend of you in your good time and bad time both. And the third sign is, the Buddha said, he's a good counselor, right? He guides you to the correct path. He shows you the correct things to do, right? He guides you to do good things, not evil things. Whenever your friend finds that you're doing bad things, he always comes to you and say, no, you should not do this. It is not good. It is not good for you and it is not good for others. So please stay away from these things. He will guide you to the good path. And also when you face problems, right? When you face difficult situations in your life, you can go and talk with them and you can heal your heart. Okay, so that is a friend who is called a good counselor. And the final quality that these good-hearted friends have is he is very compassionate towards you, right? He does not enjoy your misfortune. He or she doesn't like to see that you are falling into troubles and going through tough times. So he comes to you in those times and he or she always helps to you, right? They are willing to help you. That is a friend who is called a compassionate friend. Now, these are the 4 signs that you're having a good-hearted friend. But always remember, you may not find a friend who has all these 4 qualities, right? If you can find, then congratulations, you are very lucky. But you may not find a good friend who has all these qualities. But you can find maybe like 1 or 2 of these qualities in friends around you. So what you have to do is you have to be with them, you have to help them, you have to give your love and compassion towards them. Then you will receive that love and compassion back. Okay? So
These are the 4 signs of a good-hearted friend, okay? So if you could not find a good-hearted friend, then what you can do? Well, then the Buddha said, if you did not find a good friend in your life, be a good friend towards others. Be a good friend to other people. Then, according to the law of this world, you will receive good things back. So, these are the 4 signs that you're having a good-hearted friend. So, keep them in your mind and be with good people around you. Namo Buddhaya. Once in the Buddha's time, there lived a woman named Kisagami. She had a son whom she loved with all of her life. But unfortunately, one day her son died because of an incurable disease. Kisa was so sad she did not wanted to accept her son's death. So she carried her son's body all around the village, finding if anyone could bring her son back to life. At first, people tried to help her. They said, Kisa, you have to accept your son's death. You have to make some arrangement for his funeral. But Kisa wasn't ready to accept her son's death. She said, no, he's not dead. The only reason he's not talking and he's not smiling is because he has a disease. So she wasn't ready to accept it. So she went from one village to another, finding if anyone could bring her son back to life. Then she met with this old and wise man. And this wise man said, Kisa, I cannot help you in this situation. I cannot help you in this problem, but I know one person who could help you. Do you see that monastery over there? You go to that monastery and you meet the Buddha. Maybe he can help you in this situation. So Kisa ran to the monastery and fell in front of the Buddha and begged and said, Oh my Lord, my son has fallen sick. He's not talking. He's not smiling like early. Please, cure my son's disease. Then the Buddha listened to Kisa's tragic story and said, Kisa, I can help you. Kisa was delighted to hear that. Then Kisa said, Oh Lord, what should I do? Tell me anything, I will do it for this. Then the Buddha said, Kisa, you need to find a medicine for your son. Go and find a handful of mustard from a family where no one has ever died. Kisa thought that this was easy to find. So she ran to the village and went to the first house and said, I need a handful of mustard from you. Please give it to me. By the way, has anyone died in this family? Then people said, Oh, I'm sorry. My father died yesterday. Then she went to the next house. The reply was, My son died last year. Then she went to the next house. Then they said, Oh, my uncle died yesterday. This was the reply that all she got from every house. Then she started to think, every time I go to a house, I heard this word, death, died, he left us, he passed away. Maybe death is a common experience for all of us. Maybe I cannot take my son's life back to normal. Then she went to the Buddha. Then the Buddha said, Kisa, you've learned a valuable lesson today. Death is a common experience for all of us. The only thing that we can do is only to accept it. So you have to live your life in a meaningful way. Now let go of your sorrow and sadness. So Kisa let go of her sorrow and sadness, and she started to live a meaningful life from that day onwards. She had a new understanding about the death and life from that day onwards. So we all have to remember
that death is a natural part of life and losing loved ones is a natural part of life. We all have to go through loss and grief of our loved ones at some points in our life. That is the reality of this world. We cannot deny it. But we can do something better to make us feel better. That is to cherish the memories of our loved ones when they lived with us. Okay? So when we do that, we can find the peace and we can move forward with hope and gratitude. So let's live our life in a meaningful way about the death and life. Namo Buddhaya.
The Buddha once said, "He who sits alone, lies down alone, walks alone, in diligent practice, and alone tames himself, should find delight in living in the forest." Living alone, being alone, can be scary for many people these days. Oftenly, our society portrays a successful life, a happier life, a good life, as a life where it is surrounded by people, surrounded by things. But there's a reason why almost all the spiritual practices, almost all the spiritual pathways praise and promote this living alone, life in the place of a solitude practice, a solitude life. And that is why almost all the religious leaders had to solitude themselves from these hassles and bustles of this society and go to these quiet places and find the liberation and find what they were looking for. Same went with the Supreme Buddha. Before he became the Buddha, he was a prince. He was living in a palace. He was indulging himself with this sensual pleasure. And then he understood, indulging in this sensual pleasure doesn't help me to find what I'm looking for. So what he did was he left the palace and he went from one forest to another, meditating, finding this peace, this ultimate peace, right? So living alone can be a blessing. It is a blessing when it is converted to a blessing, right? But living alone can be a curse as well for many people. That is why people most of the time they are scary. They're afraid of living alone, right? Most of the time people come to me and say, I'm lonely, I'm living alone, I'm living by myself, but I feel so much lonely, so much negative thoughts coming into my mind. What should I do? That is what happens when you turn this loneliness into a curse. Trust me, it all depends on how you think and how you use this time. I will tell you a story. Prince Siddhartha, the Buddha, left the palace and he went to a forest. Although he went to a forest, there were 5 monks who was waiting for him to come to the forest. There were 5 monks who were helping Prince Siddhartha, the Buddha, with the meditation before his awakening. And then these 5 monks had this idea that only way to find the liberation is by giving this tortures and doing these hard meditations and harsh meditations and extreme meditations. So we call it Atta Kilamatthana Yoga, which we can translate into English as self-mortification, right? Now, Prince Siddhartha left one extreme when he left the palace. That extreme is, the Buddha described this as the extreme of sensual pleasures, indulging in the sensual pleasures. That was one extreme. And then Prince Siddhartha came to the other extreme where he practiced this self-mortification, giving these extreme and harsh meditations to the body. And then those 5 monks, they believed that this is the only way for the liberation. So Prince Siddhartha was practicing these meditations for 6 years. And finally he understood this extreme, being in this extreme, doesn't help me either. So then he found the middle path, the middle way, and that is to live a spiritual life by balancing his material and spiritual life both. right? And that is why after that decision, he decided to take some food to his body. After a long time he had taken some food to his body, he grabbed his alms bowl and went on begging alms and find some food and had it. Now all those 5 monks had a lot of expectations on Prince Siddhartha. And then they saw this incident, and then they became disappointed. They said, "Oh, what a disappointment. We believed him. We had a lot of expectations on him. But look what now happened. He's taking food. Maybe soon he will go back to his palace and he will live a normal life again. So the best decision is to leave him." So what happened? All these 5 monks left Prince Siddhartha. And after this alms round, he came back to the forest, and he saw everyone had left. No one was there. Prince Siddhartha was alone. Then he found this perfect environment, perfect place to be focused more into himself. That was because he was all alone. Right? He got the opportunity to be by himself, right? Focus more into himself. And one day, he sat under the Bodhi tree and he became awakened. He became enlightened, right? So this solitude, when it is turned to, when it is used in the correct way, it can be a blessing for you, right? And the same solitude can be turned into a curse as well. Right? Most of the people, they complain me about the loneliness. I always say to them, when you're lonely, your thought process generates a certain energy within you, right? And that can be negative. Now, let's say you are in this negative energy environment and a negative energy thought process. You all know in science we learn about, according to science, it says that energy cannot be produced or destroyed. Now you have your energy within you, but it is negative, right? Now you can't destroy this negative energy, right? What we are trying in this whole life is to destroy this negative energy. Well, we can't do that. The only thing that we can do is to convert this negative energy, drive this negative energy to something positive, right? So how can we drive this loneliness, this energy to something positive? One of the biggest reasons why people feel lonely is because they lack an aim, a goal to their life. If they have a goal and aim that they should work on, if they have a system that they should work on, then they don't feel that much lonely because they have something to do. They have something to engage with it, right? So this can go either. People can have either material goals or spiritual goals, but everyone must have these spiritual goals within themselves, no matter what life they are coming from, right? Because finally, there will be a time in all of our lives that we come to this lonely place. One day we have to be by ourselves with no one else around us. Right? At that time, if we don't have any quality, any spiritual quality that we have practiced within us, we'll start feeling lonely again and again. And it will start to build up this negative energy within us. Okay? And sometimes we can be too late for that to make it correct. So the best thing is to learn how to convert this negative energy to something positive, right? To do that, you have to have a goal and an aim for yourself, to yourself. Always ask from yourself, what should I do in my life? Who should I become in my life? What should I build up? What qualities should I work on in my life? If you found, we will always find some qualities that we should work on, right? Some mistakes that we have, some weaknesses within us. If we can work on those weaknesses and make it correct, that time will help you to be more successful, more productive, right? More happy and a more peaceful person. But to do that, what do you need? You need time, right? You need time to be focused on yourself. And what gives you the best time to be focused on yourself is the time when you are all alone, right? And that is why I always say for people, have a time during the day only for yourself, a separate time. Probably you can call it, people call it me time. Okay, that's a good thing. Having a me time for yourself during the day is essential. Okay, so I would say as a practical thing, apply it to your life. That is to have a separate, at least 15 minutes. It's okay, no matter how much you spend the time, but if it is for yourself, that is helpful, right? At least spend a 15 minutes of time, right? Sitting down, being by yourself, all alone, right? Not with your mobile phones, not with your Netflix account, not with your movies or anything. Just be by yourself, right? And then learn how to be with your own thoughts, right? Then only we can be more focused to ourselves, right? So I hope you got some idea about how to convert this loneliness into the solitude. So apply this little practice to your life and enjoy the solitude in your life. Namo Buddhaya.